We only deal with New Jersey native animals. So we do not deal with things that you guys might be familiar with. We don't work with cats or dogs. We don't work with hedgehogs or guinea pigs or hamsters or anything like that. We also don't do anything with farm animals. So any sort of domestic farm animal, cows, chickens, horses, we let us take care of those. We only take care of the native species in New Jersey. And even with that, 6,000 around animals, guys, it's a lot. And like I said, most of it is with the baby season. So we are coming off the baby season now. We are going to start getting animals in very shortly. It's mid-February right now. We're going to start seeing our first animal within the next couple of weeks. We get a number of common animals at Cedar Run as babies. We get mostly squirrels, possums, ducklings, songbirds. We do get deer and rabbits and bunnies and ducklings. So we're going to go through those. We do occasionally get squirrels in there. We've gotten things like mink, which is really fun. We got a beaver last year, which is really cool. But we do have some common ones that the average person is going to be able to see out in their backyard and actually have some experience with. So we're going to talk a little bit about each of those to see when they're going to come and what to do when you see one of these baby animals. First off, in general, what we want people to do when we see any animal that might be in need of care, might be in need of rehabilitation at Cedar Run or otherwise, we want you to follow a couple steps before you give us a call, or before we decide what to do. Okay? We did come up with this acronym, ACORN. It's kind of cute, and it actually helped me remember, which is really nice. I like it. The first step in ACORN is A. It is assess the situation. Basically, what made you think that this animal might need care? What about the situation made it look like this little bird needs help, or this baby is not in a correct place? There's got to be something in the situation where it's just not looking right. Okay? What we want you to do is get as much information as you can, because we're going to ask you that information when you call us. C, call is the next step. Okay? What we want people to do is please give us a call as soon as you realize that something is amiss, because a lot of animals, if they are actually in distress, time is of the essence, so we need to be quick about it. But we also want to get accurate information, right? So we want you to assess the situation and then give us a call before you do anything else. Unfortunately, we have had cases where somebody has tried to bring in something and it's not necessary because the baby was doing just fine, or this is perfectly healthy for this animal to go through this stage. Okay? So we want you to call first so that if you're not sure, if you're not aware of it, we can give you some appropriate information. Okay? What we'll do is when you give us a call, you tell us the details, we will give you some advice. We might say, hey, please watch. This sounds like it might be a fledgling bird. It sounds like it might be a baby bird that's learning how to fly. We want you to take a look at it, watch for a little bit, see if parents are going to come check it out. Okay? We might say, hey, are there flies hanging around this animal? Do you see fly eggs? Does it look like this baby has been down on the ground for a while and nobody's coming to take care of it? Have you been watching it for an hour or 3 hours in some cases? Is this something where maybe you see blood in some cases, where there's an injury? Right? We need to know these things, and we're going to give you advice based on that. Okay? After that, we do want you to observe again, based on the advice we've given you, whether it's something that you need to stick around for a little bit, keep an eye on it, or if it's something that we need you to just be hands off and just check in once every couple hours. Okay? There are some animals that are only left alone for a then R is rescue if needed. Again, sometimes it won't be needed, sometimes it won't be necessary. Sometimes it's a natural place, natural way that this animal is going off on its own. It's fine. Sometimes we do need you to rescue it. We ask that you be safe. Please be safe if you need to bring something in. We generally say keep some gloves and a box handy in your car or handy in your house so that you can pick something up and bring it in. Have a towel if necessary and bring it in as soon as possible. That is N. N is never keep an animal. A lot of these animals, again, time is of the essence. They need to come in quickly if they need to come in. So we want you to bring them in as soon as you can. Don't wait overnight. Don't keep it in your house. Bring it in as soon as you can so that we can give them the proper care. Another thing is a lot of these animals, they get very, very stressed out if they're around humans. Humans are kind of a predator for a lot of these animals. There's something that could possibly eat them. They don't know that we're trying to help. They don't understand what we're doing. So having an animal in your house is very, very stressful for them. It's a different situation. They don't like it. Okay? In some cases, stress can be really, really detrimental to these animals. So we're going to talk about that in specific cases in a little bit. Now I'm going to do some of this. So these are some of the first animals that we get at Cedar Run. It's squirrels and ducks, squirrels and rabbits. It's a race. We kind of have a pool going to see when we're going to get the first ones. They usually start coming in March. Squirrels actually have 2 waves of breeding. So the first is going to be in early mid-spring, and the second is going to be late summer into fall. Squirrels are typically first. Doesn't always happen, but squirrels are typically first. We usually get them after stormy days when a tree has been knocked down or a nest is blown out of the tree. And you'll see a baby or 2 on the ground, or maybe a whole nest of babies. Depending on the situation. Again, we do want you to watch the babies, typically. And we want you to watch for squirrels, we want you to watch them for a couple hours, so 2 to 3 hours. A lot of times if you see a single baby on their own on the ground, it might be that they fall out of the nest. Moms are usually hanging around somewhere. They can hear the babies. They know the babies are there. They're waiting for it to be safe to come down and collect the baby. So what you need to do is keep away any cats. Keep away any cats or dogs that might be in the area. Back away, find like a secluded area, and just watch for a little bit. If the mom doesn't come after about 2 or 3 hours, then we definitely ask that you call and bring it in, because that baby is likely abandoned. Also, in the instance of things like flies or blood or anything like that, definitely call and bring it in anyway, because those are usually the indications that mom isn't taking care of the baby anymore. Now, squirrels are rodents, so they are in the rodent family. They breed really quickly, really often. So even though we see babies like twice a year, we could potentially see them all year long. They are very quick. They do grow up quickly though too. So you might see a young squirrel with their eyes open and they're running around. They're probably fine. They are probably fine. The babies that we tend to get at Cedar Run are usually eyes closed, not as much hair on them yet. They're still little, right? They still need their parents to take care of them. The other thing that you want to look for too, and we try not to have you guys touch any of the animals if you can help it, but if it seems like the baby is cold, that's another sign you're going to bring it into. Okay? For squirrels, if you see like a baby squirrel around that you aren't sure if its mom is collecting it, what we ask you to do is actually put it in a box. Okay? We say about 3 inches high. This is actually about 4, this is a little tall. But put it in a box, put it at the base of the tree. That will keep it relatively dry, keep it separated from the ground so it's not getting more cold. And then if mom doesn't come and collect it, just bring the whole box and maybe into us. Okay? For any of the animals that we ask you to bring in to Cedar food or water. Even though it seems like a long time, a lot of these babies can survive for 24 hours or more without food or water. And unfortunately, feeding them the wrong thing can have really detrimental effects for some of these babies. So we don't want you to try and feed them anything at all. So that's what we usually get them March to May and July. Yeah.
Are you getting flying squirrels at the same time?
Flying squirrels are actually a little bit harder for us to get. We get them very infrequently. That's a good question. We don't get them at the same time. I think they breed a little bit later. I'm not sure how many breeding seasons they have. That's a good question. Yeah, we don't get long enough to really have a trend with them. Yeah. Rabbits are another early one. We see them all year long. They don't have a set breeding season, they just keep right on going. The baby puppies that we get, the big thing with rabbits is that rabbits actually grow really, really quickly. Most rabbits, I meant to ask, I don't have a tennis ball with me. I'm sure you guys know how big a tennis ball is, right? Right? It's about that big or so. When a baby rabbit is about the size of a tennis ball, it is completely independent. It is on its own. It is completely fine. We get people bringing us in tennis ball babies and we're like, no, take that, he's fine. He's fine, he's doing it on his own. They actually grow to that size within a couple weeks, like 3 weeks to 4 weeks. It does not take long. Baby, you might find at your house, in your yard, you might see a nest of babies, a nest of bunnies. And it's actually really, really cool to find, right? Your dog will find it. It's actually really, really cool to see because bunnies in the United States don't make like burrows. Like all the stories that you've heard about Peter Cottontail, all those, they're all European rabbits. We don't have those rabbits. So the rabbits that we have actually do like a little depression. And they'll keep their babies in that little nest and they just stay there. Mama rabbits only come back to their babies twice a day. So a lot of times we'll see a nest of baby rabbits and think, oh my goodness, these babies have been abandoned, they're not being fed. No, they're fine. They're fine. Mom's gonna come back. The way you test to see if mom comes back, because sometimes you don't want to stay out there for 12 hours to see if mom's gonna come back. You actually set up a tiny little trap. You use string, cut out a couple pieces, and you lay them in kind of a grid, some sort of geometric, not found in nature kind of pattern, so that if mom comes back, she will have moved the string and you can see that. Right? Yeah, it's actually really cool. Most mom rabbits are not going to come back if you or your dog or your cat are anywhere in the vicinity. Right? So one of the biggest things with rabbits is definitely trying to keep your cats away from them and try and stay back. They have a really good sense of smell, but that's not how they stay away from predators. It's mostly hearing and sight. So if they see you around or if they hear you around, they're not going to come back to their nest. Remember, rabbits, breed like rabbits, that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing. Unfortunately, in some cases, they would rather leave their babies and go start a new family. So if you are hanging around, they're not going to come back to their nest. So we need you to step back. They're going to smell you on the string that you put down, but that's not going to bother them because you're not in the area, right? So they're just going to use that. They're going to feed their babies and then hop away and go distract whatever predator might be coming after their babies. Right? Generally, if the babies are really small, if they haven't been checked up on in 24 hours, then we ask you to bring them in. And so that's a big thing. It's a long time. It's longer than a lot of people are comfortable with, but it's a fact of life for rabbits. That's enough. I love these guys. We did put ducks in here. We put ducks in here separately because we get a lot of calls about yellow ducks. Very, very yellow ducklings. Which are very, very cute, but they're domestic ducks. in mid-March to May. They're pretty early. Ducklings are really self-sufficient. Very quickly after they're born. Very, very quickly after they hatch. Within a couple hours, they're walking around toppling after their parents and like swimming after them. It's really, really cool to see. They're what we call precocial. We are not precocial animals. We need a long time before we're ready to start toddling after our parents. Baby ducks, on the other hand, they're ready to go very, very quickly afterwards. So, generally with ducklings and ducks, what we ask is that if you see the parent around, please try and reunite baby duckling with parents. Okay? A lot of times what we're going to get is lost ducklings. Okay? So, one oddball lost duckling lost his parents somewhere. We generally ask you to try and find the parent and put it back with them. If you cannot do that, then we can have you bring them in. This is also really important that you bring them in quickly and have as little contact with the baby as possible. Birds are really funny with the imprinting thing. So imprinting is a strategy that birds have in order for them to know who their parents are and know who they belong with.
We have them return to where they found them.
Ideally, yes. Ideally, we are going to try and rehab the ability and then release them back where they came from. If we know, a lot of times when someone will bring us something and not say where they were found, we're like, well, where does it go? I don't know where this bird belongs to. Ideally, we're going to try to, or as close as we can. Try and put them back with their parents, if not bring them in. Try not to keep in contact because if they imprint on humans, it's really hard to put them back with other animals, other wild animals. Otherwise, they just don't do it. They can't. They don't see their kind as their kind, but they see as humans as their kind. And these are just going to hang out with humans, and that's just being for everybody. You've all seen ducks in the pond when they're like way too friendly with people. They get bitey, they get nasty sometimes. It happens. It's a problem. Possums are, yeah.
So somebody finds a domestic bird, sometimes you have a partner rescue that you refer to.
Well, thank you, Richard. It's you. So we actually will refer you to AWA. So, yeah.
We do not take birds, but we
Well,
will.
we can't make it domestic. So what we can do is we do have a list of organizations that we do work with. So we'll try and find whoever's closest to you, and you can give them a call and see where to go from there. AWA is one of them that has resources that we don't have. So they'll be able to give you some different resources, just in case there's anything. We do have a couple of vets that we can work with. They often don't take in animals the same way we do, but they may also have resources as well. Sorry if I don't stop.
We'll make a list.
Yeah. So opossums are little peanuts, they're adorable, and a lot of people think they're really creepy, but I love them. They're so cute, guys.
The opossum?
The opossum, we get so big.
You can see them on my deck.
Yeah.
Nature's best pest control.
They really are. I have
Fun's to feed.
what's that?
Fun's to feed.
Yeah. So the opossums are great. They're typically beginning like April, August, or when we typically see babies, usually later than that, because the babies that come out, opossums are really cool. Opossums are marsupials, which means they have a pouch, right? They don't have pregnancies the same way mammals, like other mammals do. They're mothballs. So when their babies are born, they're actually about the size of mammoths.
Oh, wow.
They are tiny. They are like embryos when they come out. So they actually crawl up into the mom's pouch. They latch onto a nipple and they stay there for months after that. The teat actually goes down like into their stomach. So one of the things that we have an issue with is people might find a dead possum on the road with babies. They might try and take the babies off of the teat, and unfortunately that's really difficult because that teat is like nearly fused in. So that's something that, if that's the case, we don't want you to remove the babies. Bring the whole thing into us. Yeah, bring the whole mom into us. It's a little gruesome, I know. need to know about babies. Also, I gotta mention this too. Possums are known for playing possum, right?
Yeah, they are.
They're not always dead. It does happen sometimes when somebody thinks of one that looks dead, and we're just like, yeah, it's still alive. We can do something for this guy. We can do something for this one. And it's best, as always, and I mentioned this at the start, it's best for all of these animals to stay with their parents, right? That's the best thing. We can only do so much, but like we can do a lot. But we are human. We are not possums. We are not ducks. We don't know how to duck. We don't know how to possum. We don't know how to teach these birds and these babies how to do everything they need to do. We are a poor starter at best, but so our best bet is to keep all these babies with their parents as much as possible. And then if we do need to bring them in, yes, we're going to do the best we can. And yes, we have done a lot of research. And yes, we have taken a lot of classes and done a lot of hours of work to try and get the best results possible for all these babies so that we can put them back out in the wild and have them live a successful life. So that's the goal of them. The songbirds, they're really delicate. I don't mess with them if possible. They're really little. They're very little. Our songbirds that we usually get start typically in April or so, and we'll get the little nestlings first. So the little babies fresh out of the egg. Right, or the hatchlings, sorry, hatchlings fresh out of the egg. Notice the nestlings, once their eyes open and they're still mostly featherless, not the precocial babies, it's not out of those. So they're going to have mostly no feathers and might have a little bit of down feathers when we get them. And then when they're that young, when they're that little, again, try and put them back in their moms. If you can see the nest, try to put it back in the nest. Have you guys ever heard that story about, if you touch the baby bird, the mom will come back to it, or they can smell it? Yeah, there's not how to raise a smell this. They really, really don't. They've got like a minimal sense of smell. So they don't care that you touch the baby. They really do not. What they do care about is that there's something in their nest. So they actually will take care of the baby if it's in the nest. If it's out of the nest at the wrong time, we'll talk about that in a minute. If it's out of the nest at the wrong time, then they won't really take care of it. So what we want you to do, again, that's with parents, try and put it back in with the parents. If you can see the nest, put it back in. If you can't see the nest, what you can do is build an artificial nest. Great thing? These little baskets are great. This is just like a little toy shopping basket, but anything with holes to allow drainage is going to be perfect. You can actually put like a little bit of fluff in the bottom of this, maybe a towel, put the bird, the baby bird in it, and put this into the tree. Just strap it onto the tree. If the mom accepts it, and the mom accepts the baby, she'll start feeding the baby right out of this. She'll start adding new things and just recreating your nest right there. If mom doesn't accept it, that's when you bring it to us. Okay, but we want you to try and keep it with mom as often as possible. Right? That's that. Fledglings, on the other hand, these little babies that look like they've got broken legs. We've got many, many phone calls about, oh, there's this little baby bird on the ground. He's got, his feathers look bad, and it looks like he's flying around with a broken wing, or his leg's broken, or something like that. And we say, does it look like his feathers are still growing in? Does it look like they've got little pins kind of sticking out of their body? Those are the pin feathers. Those are the quills that are starting to grow. They're starting to get their flight feathers. They are trying to learn how to fly. They're like a toddler learning how to walk. They're going to fall sometimes. How that works. The cool thing is that once they're at that stage, the parents, like the fledglings are at the nest, the parents are still hanging around. The parents are still going to be feeding the baby. They're still going to be taking care of that baby long after he learns how to fly. Because the baby's going to be dead. That's how they go. They just keep going. So they're going to keep track of the baby. The issue that we run into sometimes is people run into the baby and we're like, no, please take it back. Please try again. Call us if you really need to bring it in, which is again, blood, actual injuries, bugs, or in the case of birds, if it's been in a cat's mouth. Cats are really good hunters, really are. Sometimes they drop their food, sometimes they'll bring you something that is still alive, right? They're amazing at that. I love them for that. Not so great for the animals that they caught. Unfortunately, there are a lot of diseases that can transfer between animals. Cat to bird is a really dangerous one. So even if the bird is not dead, you still need to bring it in so we can give it medicine as soon as possible, because cats can be really dangerous for birds after the fact. So that's one of the things that we really want you to keep an eye on. Raccoons are great. I love raccoons. They're little brown ones. They're absolutely little brown ones. Cat families is an accurate description. We get them typically later, starting in April. We'll get little babies, eyes closed, little fur balls. They're so cute. They're adopted. Again, we want them to be with mom as much as possible. If you can try and find mom or allow mom to get baby, please do so. Wait a couple hours. If you can't, then you can bring it in. Raccoons have the added benefit of possibly having diseases that we can capture, that we can get, right? We try and say, just be careful. Wear gloves, use towels, limit contact as much as possible. So don't, try not to get scratched, try not to get bit, all that. Wash your hands thoroughly afterwards. If you are not comfortable, if you see a baby raccoon that is eyes open, they're a little more alert, but they're not, they're still in need of care, call somebody. Give us a call, certainly, but also call animal control if you are not comfortable bringing it in. That's their job, that's what they're there for, right? We don't want you to put yourself at risk to bring us an animal that might need help. There are people for that. We unfortunately don't have the staff to go out and collect all the animals that we get. We would be running around all day long, 6,300 animals. We don't have the staff to deal with that, so we do ask people to bring them in, as a matter of course, as part of it. If you cannot do it, animal control or some other related organization will be able to bring it in.
Yeah, one of the ones we work with is critter dogs.
Critter dog comes to us a lot.
Some animal control call us as well.
Yeah, a lot of animal controls will be like, hey, I just had to remove this family of raccoons from this lady's attic, and she doesn't want them, and I don't know where to put them. Can you guys take them? And we're like, okay, I guess. We'll raise them because they're babies. Moms are wearing strap.
Yeah.
You never see little raccoons in your attic. I get it. I don't see why, because they're so cute. I know. These are like the pinnacle of adorable that we get. We typically get them later in the season. May to June is when we start seeing them. They are really cute, but again, they're one of those ones where the mom only comes back to them twice a day. So dawn and dusk, they're only seeing their babies for a few hours a day. And the babies are going to be hiding the whole rest of the time. They do have their spots. That's going to be their camouflage. They're going to sit and they're going to wait for mom to come back. They're going to be really quiet. They're going to be just kind of hanging out there chilling. They don't need to be taken care of. A lot of times, again, with twice a day, we see them and say, oh my gosh, this baby's abandoned. Mom hasn't come back for 3 hours. Where is mom? Mom's dead on the side of the road somewhere. It's fine. It's fine. Unfortunately, there's no way to really entrap the mom like we can with mummies to maybe live or anything like that, to say, yes, mom has been here. So the best bet with fawns is just to keep an eye on. If you see a fawn in your yard, congratulations. That is an awesome sight to see. But you also want to make sure that mom is coming back. Make sure that mom is coming back. Make sure that mom is healthy. If you see a fawn mean that maybe something did happen to them. But that's not gonna come in the first 12 hours, that's gonna come every 24 hours or so. So we want you to be aware of what's going on, aware of what's around, and then call us if needed, and we'll tell you to bring them in. We don't want you to just renovate farm. Again, keep them out in the wild the rest of the month, right? They're definitely best for the month. Yeah, that's all we have.
Yeah, I want you guys to keep
Yeah,
doing
there
your
you go.
thing, and we can talk about kittens if we come to it.
So what we wanted to do, because we are Cedar Run, and because our job is to take care of animals, our goal is to take care of animals and put them back out in the wild. Again, 6,300 animals, our goal is to put them all back out. We don't want to keep them. We do have about 50 animals that do stay at Cedar Run year round. So these are the ones that live on our property. Has anybody ever actually been to Cedar Run? Ah, cool. So we do have animals at Cedar Run that live there year round. Some of them you can come and visit. Some of them are hiding behind the scenes, so we don't really use them for programs. So we actually bring them to things like this. I did bring 2 friends today. I was only allowed to bring a reptile friend, so you're pretty snakes, I'm sorry. It's a little one. He's my only baby at Cedar Run. I haven't brought the baby cookie. So I'll start with my bigger one. She's not a baby. She is an old friend that we've had for many, many years. Come here. Oh, come here. Even if it was So this is Blinken. Blinken is one of our box turtles. So we have actually had her since the 90s. I want to say 97 or so. Yeah. She came to us from a museum that was shutting down. So they had an animal collection. So she was actually born in the 90s, I think. Excuse me. She stayed at that facility for a while as an education animal. Right?
She's so alert.
She is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I bought her. She's the animal. We actually got 3 of them at the same time, even though we can look at them. So Lincoln is the bigger one.
Oh, she.
We don't know exactly how old she is, but we have had her since 97. We believe that she was born in the early 90s, but I don't know how old they had her. I think the 3 of them actually had different birthdays too, so I don't remember off the top of my head.
But she wants to see everything.
She does. She definitely does. She's very curious. And again, she's like a show animal. She's been with people for her whole life, so she has no idea how to behave out in the wild. So because of that, she can't go back out. She also has no idea how to hibernate. Like this time of the year, you're not going to see any turtles. Like they're going to be hiding right now. And so she has no idea what to do in the cold. You know, she would just sit out on the sidewalk and just be eaten by something. I'm not sure. She is a box turtle, which means they've got a really, really cool thing that they can do with their shell. The bottom part here actually has a line that goes right down the middle. Right? That means that their bottom shell is actually in 2 parts. So this part actually closes up like a hinge. So they're one of the few turtles that can close up completely inside their shell. So when they do that, they look like a rock. When they look like a rock, not too much to get a hold of them. They do have a lot of natural predators, definitely around here. Raccoons, foxes, snakes, sometimes the babies. The babies, by the way, their eggs are left side, a little smaller than a ping pong ball. So their babies are going to be actually born underground, so they'll lay some eggs later in the season, so like, I want to say like high summer-ish, high summer, and then they'll be born when the eggs will hatch, either over the winter or like toward the end of the season into the fall. And then they'll stay under the ground over the winter, and then they'll come back out in the spring. Or they'll hatch earlier and then come out and like try and find a way. It depends on the nest and how versatile they are.
You get many snappers.
More than our assistant director would care to say. Yes. I personally love the snapping turtles. I think they are ancient and I love them. Certain individuals do not appreciate them. They are dangerous, so do not put it back on the road because it still wants to cross that road. With snapping turtles, bring a shovel.
Stay away.
Yeah, bring a shovel or some sort of like cardboard box. You can put it, maneuver it on top of the box and drag it along. That's a safer way to do it. Keep your hands away from the face because the face extends. Most turtles can actually, snapping turtles in specific, they can stretch their head back and snap halfway the length of their shell, at least. So anywhere in this forward vicinity is dangerous for a snapping turtle. Please be careful. You have to be a snapping turtle. I love them. I encourage people to study them. I encourage people to watch them because they're fascinating. But just safety first, guys. Definitely safety first. Yeah.
How do they look different than the ones you have in your hand?
So this guy, the box turtles, these guys are actually a land turtle. So their shell is a lot higher. This is also as big as this turtle ever is. This is full grown, full size. She's over 20 years old. Yeah. Pushing 30. Yeah. She's full grown. She's never going to get any bigger. Snapping turtles, tire size is not unusual. Most of the ones we see are going to be big dinner plate size, but tire size is also not unusual for a good snapping turtle. Snapping turtles are also an aquatic turtle, like a water turtle. They're going to be dark brown, or dark green, and just kind of hanging out in the water most of the time. You're only going to see them when they come out of land. Much bigger. They're also the bottom of the shell, which hopefully if you're actually working with a girl, you're not going to see. Their bottom of their shell is almost more like a cross. So it has an extension here and an extension here, where it just sort of has like cutouts here. So it's really flimsy. So if you do have to lift them up, you also have to be really careful. There's a chance that like the top from the bottom. It's unfortunately a thing, which is why the shovel method and lift up from the bottom is the best. Don't try and pick them up by the shell, don't pick them up by the tail. That's all bones, that's all separating vertebrae. Don't do it, guys, and you're going to cause problems. Yeah?
Do the older, bigger snapping turtles, are they hunting different than the younger ones? Are they just sitting in the water?
So that's a fantastic question. I love that. So the question was, are the bigger snapping turtles hunting differently than the younger snapping turtles? To my knowledge, no. To my knowledge, snapping turtles are all sit and wait predators. So they can hold a breath for 20 minutes or more at a time. They sit at the bottom of the lake. They keep their mouth open and they just kind of wait for something to get close enough to reach out and grab them. They are lightning quick. They are so fast. So when they see something that they want to eat, they reach out and grab it. Their beaks are also razor sharp. Same with these guys. Actually, you don't want to get in with these guys. These guys can go blood too. Be careful. This one, she's not going to because she doesn't care about us. But any turtle like that is going to have really sharp beak. They don't have teeth. So they're using their beak to like break up whatever they capture. And then swallow it, mostly whole. Smaller snapping turtles are just going to eat smaller prey. They're going to sit more in the shallows, where the smaller fish are going to be, the bigger bugs, like the dragonfly larvae, things like that, we're going to eat those. Tadpoles, those kind of things, all those kind of guys. That's all people. That's all they're
You have like 5, so that one property is a gully where cars will come in and spawn, and there's 5, and they're all, one's pretty big, and then my whole life. So,
Yeah.
our parents always bring us to, from our parents, and cook it.
Yeah.
It's like watching
Yeah, they're not native to New Jersey. They're native to the Mississippi River Valley, so the alligator snapping turtle. They look a lot more prehistoric. I will tell you, between the two of them, the alligator snapping turtle looks nastier. The common snapping turtle, the one we have, is nastier. Of the two of them, the alligator snapping turtle is actually more docile. So they're more chill. Yeah.
You said the turtle doesn't grow anymore, right? I'm just curious, you know how they have these turtles at Philadelphia Zoo? What kind of turtles are they? Because they look like 5 tons.
Yeah. Those are probably a subspecies of Galapagos tortoise.
They're
Yeah.
black.
Yeah. So the Galapagos Islands are an island cluster off the coast of South America. Yeah, and they are famous for being like really weird and just enormous. You know, so like that was the whole thing where each island actually has a different kind of tortoise evolved from whatever ancestral tortoise that came onto the island to begin with. So they each kind of evolved their own thing. But they got huge because there's nothing else there. You know, there's nothing to attack them. So they could get bigger. These guys, they got foxes, raccoons, bears, possums, anything can eat these guys. So they stay small because they can stay hidden. You know, bigger ones, nothing's going to bother them down there. You know, yeah, so they're right to catch anything too.
So you said you shouldn't see these guys out on your time.
Correct.
If you do, that indicates a problem, then what would you do if you saw one out and about in the cold?
Well, so here's the thing with these guys. When I say that you shouldn't see them out in the wild, it's because they will not survive. They are cold-blooded animals. Their body temperature is dependent on whatever the temperature is outside. If it gets too cold outside, their metabolism actually starts to shut down. Like it slows down, so they go into hibernation. They can't move around in the winter time if it gets too cold. Now that being said, unfortunately with climate change, we have had some really weird warm days that have kind of woken up some of these creatures that should be asleep during this time frame. 1 or 2 days are probably not going to wake up. A sustained like week or 2 or 3 in the middle of January where then it gets cold again, that will cause some concern. We do ask that you give us a call. I don't have the answer necessarily for exactly what to do. We might tell you to bring them in. We might refer you to another organization. While we can take in reptiles like fox turtles or snapping turtles or snakes or lizards, we don't have the capability to keep them for long term. So we actually work with Mercer County Wildlife Center in Mercer County, New Jersey. They can take care of turtles and reptiles. So we send a lot of our stuff up there.
Is she kept inside now in the winter?
Yeah,
Or all year round?
yeah, she's an indoor girl. I mean, she wouldn't know what it was like. She would just die.
Something that you'll see like around at this year, I'm sure everywhere, is a lot of people will bring native turtles and then release them. And so that's why you'll have seen a lot of turtles that aren't native to here. We'll get calls saying, hey, can you take this turtle? And unfortunately we can't. But that's something else to kind of look out for is to see if they are native or not. Because a lot of people will release more reptiles that aren't native to here.
Yeah, they think it's fine. They're not.
Yeah, they won't be able to survive in like our type of environment, and it could mess up a lot of things. Like a lot of people will release turtles into certain lakes, and that would mess up that whole ecosystem of that lake.
There's actually 2 different species in New Jersey that are invasive birds. One is red-eared flag. You know, it's the one that most people have as pets. You know, it's got the really bright red ears. They can live for 40 to 60 years. And that is much, much longer than many humans, many people care to take care of a turtle for. And unfortunately, they think, oh, it's a water turtle, it'll be fine out here. Yes, it will, and it will completely bully all of our native peanut turtle species, which are a little smaller and not as, I guess, brash as the red-eared slider. So, yeah. we don't want you to do that. The other one is a spiny soft-shell turtle, I think, which I just found out recently has a population. I don't remember where. But it's actually really kind of a weird turtle. We've gotten them once before and we're like, what? How? This is weird. So anyway, I'm gonna bring up my other friend because we have a baby. We're talking about baby fox, right? He's really, really cute. I love him. His name is Remy. So this is Remy, our rat snake. And he will come around because he's very little. So Remy is a eastern rat snake or black rat snake. They are actually the largest species of snake in New Jersey. He does not look like this. He is probably about 20 inches long right now. He's only about a year old. So he is still a baby. He still has a lot of growing to do. When they get to be full grown, and they can reach 17. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for him to get that large. It's going to take a couple years. He's going to get longer. He's going to get fatter. They actually get to be about the size of my wrist around. So they can get pretty hefty. It's going to be really hard for me to hold him with one hand for a while. Right now he gets babies. So right now he gets baby mice. All of our animals, because our animals are non-releasable, so the ones that we keep at Cedar Run, they cannot be released back into the wild. So we don't, if they could hunt for themselves and hunt live prey, we would be able to put them back out in the wild. But because they can't for some reason, either they've never done it before in their lives, like Remy, like he was raised in captivity, or they're injured in some way where they can't physically, they can't fly, or they can't see. We have to train a lot of these animals to eat things that are already dead, so that they can actually back into it. They will like it for a while, they don't like it, but they will, because that's food. So, and we do keep fresh if possible, or fresh-ish. As much as possible, yeah. So yeah. He does have some growing to do. He does have kind of a collar on him. As an adult, he's going to be almost pure black with just a couple white speckles. As a baby, though, as a young snake, they look a lot like corn snakes. So they have a kind of like a little pattern that looks like leaves and shadows. So that can help them camouflage when they're crawling around on the ground and trying not to be seen. A lot of baby animals are going to look like the surroundings that they're in, try and not be seen. So actually finding one usually means that there's an issue somewhere. So actually seeing it is kind of rare. I'll come around. If you guys have more questions, I will be happy to answer them about anything I've talked about today. And I know there might be questions from Facebook, if that's a thing.
We have one gentleman on Facebook asking about fox. Do you guys know fox at all?
So I will answer that when I come back on the camera. No, fortunately I didn't have anybody touch our animals. I do have a snake skin that you can touch. I do have turtle shell you can touch after the program. And we're more than happy to hang around it.
So you'll keep it in reserve.
Yep. Yes, we will keep it even if he gets really, really big because he is in a tank. Yeah, he will be in a tank on his whole life. Let's get a bigger tank. We actually have a tank ready for him when he gets big.
Was he born back there?
He wasn't born at Cedar Run, no. He was just born in captivity, we don't know where. And the people that had him couldn't take care of him. So,
Sweet.
yeah. So he is really sus. Oh, where do they usually hang out in the wild? So these guys, or rat snakes, are typically in forested areas. They do like meadows. They're gonna be in this area. Like they're a relatively common snake.
Yeah, I have one in my backyard.
Yeah.
I live right next to the Blueberry Hill Trail.
Yes.
And it came through the backyard like after a really heavy rainstorm. I thought it was like the next morning.
No, they were good, but it was weird looking. You know, wrapped all around, and we have the environmental protection agency. There, we can't have that happen. So
Yeah, right, yeah.
because it's a native species.
So one of the things that Fox Canyon will do is they will eat snakes,
Yeah.
right? Black rat snakes are, if it's an adult, that's the biggest. That is something like a reptile hawk can handle. So they might be getting what they bargained for in that case and think differently about it for the fact. But that's something that we do have to contend with. Yeah. To get back to the question about our fox, we actually do take in foxes. Foxes are one of our favorite animals to get, and really, really smart. Ideally, we try and keep the babies, the cubs, separate. If we find like multiple cubs, we'll keep them together so they can learn how to be foxes together. Try and keep them away from humans as much as possible because they are so smart. They learn that humans equal food very, very quickly. And we want to keep that from happening if possible. You may have seen, if you follow our Facebook page, we actually just announced that we have a fox. She's really adorable. Her name is Ember. So we do have a fox that will be staying at Cedar Run. Do not put in there, so please, thank you. We do have a fox that will be staying with us at Cedar Run. Unfortunately, she will not be on display yet. We do not have an enclosure yet. We are going, if we haven't started fundraising yet, then we will be soon. Start fundraising for an enclosure to get her out on display because she's really sociable and she is a doll. Yeah, she's great. But yes, we do picking boxes in our
So yeah, he says that he has one hanging out in his porch during the day,
Oh.
who has a bad leg. You think that's why he hangs out there? He's not well looking.
Well, that would be a case where I would call.
Yeah.
Call Cedar Run. The people that work in the wildlife hospital all the time have more knowledge about specific cases like that than I do. I can give you very general information about when to call. They would be able to give you more specific information. It's possible that being around the house means there's more food available for him and it's making it easier for him to survive. If that leg is something that's bothering him, then we might need to do something about it. If it doesn't seem like it's bothering him, then they might be doing just fine. There's a three-legged deer hanging around our facility, and she's doing great. She's just hanging out. It's fine. We don't need to do anything with her. She's living. Yeah, that's one of those situations where I definitely call and talk to the experts there. Are there any other questions?
I feel like I'm the only nerd with all the questions.
Yeah.
Out of all the animals that we talked about tonight, would you say that any of these are particularly endangered in New Jersey? More than others?
The ones that we talked about are all the most common animals that we get. So none of these are going to be really endangered. Sometimes, like our snake, people bring them in a little less often because they tend to be scared of them. Same thing with the snapping turtles. It takes a really tough personality to be willing to bring one of them in.
Another species that we see is coyotes, and a lot of people don't want to deal with coyotes. They are, if you see one, it's very common because they're more likely to stay away from you as much as possible and human connections. If you do see one, it is a little alarming. But more people see them as an issue, so they kind of won't take care of them or want to bring them in. So they're definitely species I think that people try. Not that they're in any kind of danger, but that people kind of like snakes, they really don't want to help out. We do take them in. We did have one I think last year, and it was yeah.
We did not need that coyote pup. What we did was find a facility that had a litter of pups, coyote pups recently. And since ours was a single, we sent ours up to them so that they could be raised together as a unit. And again, learn how to be coyotes together. Again, that's best for the animal. It's not best for them if we keep them because they're cute. We don't want to do that. Who wants any other things?
Oh yeah.
Summer stones, guys, the stones are great. I didn't put a picture of them, but they are really, really cute.
Yeah, do you release the animals from where they're found?
Ideally, if we can. For some of the animals, like we might get several batches of squirrels, you know, all from different areas that after they've gone through like a quarantine period, we might batch them together and say, all right, all these guys are the same age, they're now living together, they're all going to be released together. If possible, we're going to try and put them back where they belong, where they came from, especially in the case of birds. That's a little bit more important for something like a mammal. If we can just, find a suitable habitat, then we might just release the whole batch and say, go, good luck, be free, this is the perfect place for you. Okay. We'll do that for things like our squirrels, our rabbits, things that are pretty much okay wherever they live. Things like our owlets, our baby owls, or our hawks. You know, when they come in, we need to be a little more particular about where we release them, because their habitat is more specific, but also they have a map about where they live. And if they want to go back to where they live, they are going to go back there. They have a better sense of direction than we do. They will travel and they will go through all sorts of dangers to try and get back there and risk themselves to try and get back to their area. Same thing with turtles. The box turtles, they have a home area about the size of a football field. And if they leave that area, they're going to keep trying to go back. If they get lost, they won't survive. So it's not like they can just go to the grocery store and get food. They have their area. They have their habitat in their home area because they know. You take them out of that home area, they won't survive as well. So, yeah, so for some animals, we have to be really, really particular about where we put them back. Others, a little bit easier. Yeah.
With deer, are you seeing anything like the disease like that?
We, at Cedar Run, we are only allowed to take in fawns. So we are only allowed to take in the babies. The adult deer are actually dangerous. And that's when we see a lot of zoonotic diseases that are more apparent as an adult. The chronic wasting disease, I forget what I forget what that was. Yeah, those diseases mostly present as adults, and we can't take in adults anymore. Adult deer are very high stress animals. So, and I had mentioned we were going to talk about that too. High stress animals are tricky for us to work with, mostly because if an animal stresses out too much, they're going to hurt themselves. Again, we are predators to these animals. They want to get away from us. They don't understand that we're trying to help them. It's not in their nature, you know? And having as big and upright, weird animal as we are, coming close to them, all they want to do is get away. For an adult deer that weighs 120 pounds or more, up to 200 in the case of some of the adult bucks, that is life-threatening, unfortunately. And also, it's going to hurt them. So if they do try to get away from us, they're going to do everything they can to get away. Up to and including hurting themselves to get away from us. So it's best for everybody if we don't work with the adult deer. With the babies, when any of our animals come in, any of the babies, because they could also have diseases, we quarantine them all as soon as they come in. If they come in as a litter, we're going to have all the babies in that litter in the same container, in the same enclosure. They're all going to stay together until we have found that they're not contagious to anything else. It's only after a couple of weeks that we're going to move them around and put them in other containers. For the most part, they're mostly just within their little room. I think there's a bunch of us in there.
No, I didn't know how early that's affecting deer, so that good.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a thing.
You know, 5 years ago, there was an injured swan over in Winslow. It was injured leg, he was able to get it off the road, off the road. Animal control came out, called 911, animal control came out, we put a blanket over it and tried to do the part. Were they brought back to you guys?
It depends. Swan is a hard one because there's two kinds of swans that we see in the area. The more common one that we see is a mute swan, and they're not native. So we actually cannot take in new swans at all because they're non-native species. They're from like overall Europe and Asia. The other kind of swan that we get in New Jersey is a tundra swan. They are seasonal, so we might see a flock every couple of years as they come from way far north down into New Jersey when it gets so cold up there that they can't find food. So it's really, really rare that we will actually see tundra swans, period, let alone in our wild hospital. So if we did, it'd be really, really cool, but hard to say.
What about bats?
That's our other one. Yeah. Yeah, I love the bats. Bats are incredibly delicate. So what we say about bats is that we are a treehouse center. So what we'll do is we will take in animals, and if we can do something for it, we will. Sometimes in the case of bats, it might just be they need a little warmth, they need a little bit of fluids, and they can go on their way. In many cases, they're a little bit more particular than that. So we actually have to send them to a specialist. And there are people that specialize just in bat rehabilitation because they are so delicate and so specific. So we will send them to a specialist. We take in a lot of animals, but for some of the really intricate stuff, we need to get them to somebody who knows what they're doing better.
You ever taken an American eagle?
That one, I know we do have eagles. I actually don't know that we've seen any recently. I don't know when the last one we got was.
There's one, and I got it every morning when they started there every morning. 38 East, you over to Nixon Drive, dead end, and you move around those roads, and there's a big lake there, a lot of trees. I see them flying there every morning. So if by 11 o'clock in the morning, so if you go by there at 11 o'clock, you go that road where the lake is at, it looks like a lake or a pond, whatever, and you'll see them flying, you'll see them coming from the west side, flying going to the east side, and they're on the tree. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see, and I love seeing all these animals. Oh, they are big. They're very large. And we do have an eagle on our property, so we can take them in. We do have very specific people work with those animals. They are also protected under the Migratory Bird Act still, so we also need to be very particular about how we get them and what we do with them when we get them. I believe our permitting allows eagles. Yeah, please. I know we also do all sorts of birds from tiny little hummingbirds all the way up to baby eagles and crane, or maybe not cranes, but parrots. Vultures, hawks are common, Kennedy geese are common. We get them all.
Maybe I'll see a lot more bald eagles now because the increase in New Jersey, they started really protecting their nesting sites and
Yeah. It came off the endangered list in 2016 or 2017, I don't remember. But they're still protected under the Migratory Bird Act, and they're still on the endangered species list in New Jersey. So they're not on the federal endangered species list, but they are on the New Jersey endangered species list because we would like to have more of them. We would like everybody to be able to see all them.
Once a week, just to see them.
It's really cool.
It's beautiful. It's waves. Humongous.
For 10 years ago, Cedar Run was accepting catfish for the ball eagles. Is there donations rates that you are accepting?
So that's definitely something to call out the hospital for. Because we do accept donations like that. Sometimes we will put a call out and say, hey, does anybody have a hunter friend who has old venison in their freezer that they need to clean out? Or does anybody have a fisherman who has, caught some fish that they're not going to eat? We do put calls out occasionally, but we do need to be very selective about when we get these things because we only have so much storage space. So if you give us a whole bunch of stuff, we are incredibly grateful, but we need to be able to use it. So if you do have anything like that, any donations that you want to give us, please call the Wildlife Hospital to see A, if it's something that we can use, B, if it is something that we can use, if we can store it at this time and be able to actually utilize it efficiently. Okay? We are taking donations. I did forget to mention that we are a nonprofit. We are not government funded. We are not city funded or state funded at all. We operate entirely through donations and through like program fees and grants. That's it. You know, everything we do is donation based. So we appreciate all of the help that everybody gives us, all the support that we get, and we hope that you can continue that for a long time to help us provide the service that we do, both to the community and to the animals that we see.
For those words, I know we do get donations from vendors of food. They're so generous. They'll donate a lot of stuff for us, especially for our local daily. So it's really great. But that is where you can come in and meet with our wildlife rehabilitators, you can ask them questions, and you can have a full tour of our wildlife hospital. So it's really awesome to see and for you guys to be able to really see like the back end of like, what we do, because that's not really open to the public. You come out just for a day visit, that's not something that you'll be able to see. So I try not to do that. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, just really just
When is that, March what?
I believe it's March 15th.
I think we're thinking like that. I don't remember. Like Saturday or Sunday, it's a weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. It's usually 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 11 to 1, I think.
Also, one more thing, if anybody is interested in volunteering at Cedar Run during our baby season, we are still accepting volunteers. We have our
My case.
yeah,
We
we
have
have
one more
volunteer oriented.
now.
Yeah, we do. It's all on our website, guys. But if you're interested, check out our information section, and that would be able to tell you exactly how you can get involved. And there's other ways, it's not just baby animals, it's also like events, it's also our education program, our nature center, all things like that. It's a lot of fun.
If you want to scan like the QR code, you can send it for our email list. That will be able, we send out emails, probably like once a week, but we'll do a whole month one of events, so then you won't miss out on those events. We also do emails that, basically all the information that Rachel went over today, we'll send those things out about each season, about each baby, and just like a bunch of different articles. So if you are interested in learning more about wildlife, yeah, you kind of don't have the time to come to see around all the time, then I do recommend our email list.
I know we promised you guys kitten info, so I know have paperwork that you can take with you. Or if you want to stay behind and you have any questions about kittens or cats that you have outside, I'm happy to talk to you about it. This is definitely way too interesting. I love that. But we have it, we have the info in case you're finding kittens or cats and you want to help them as well.
You said that's March 11th?
Let me look.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Mike at AWA, and this week we're kicking off registration and fundraising for our biggest event of the year, the Paws and Feet 5K and Doggy Fun Day. We're going to have all the details for you. You can read all about it below. But first, we're here at the Adoption Center. We're going to talk to some of the animals about why they want you to join them for Paws and Feet. Up first, we're back in the Adoption Center with Halo, and the people want to know, Halo, what is your favorite part about Paws and Feet?
All of the sniffs. There's so much to eat and drink, it makes the whole place smell great. Until after the race, then people get a little stinky.
So now I'm here with Hyperion, who's hanging out in our community cat room. Hyperion, what was your favorite activity from last year's Paws and Feet?
Definitely the 5K. Last year I got distracted by a bird and stuck in a tree, but it's cool because we still hang out.
Who, you and the bird?
No, the fireman who rescued me. What a great guy. He's coming over for the game this weekend, bringing catnip. It's gonna be awesome.
Now I'm here with best friends Chestnut and Squeakers. I heard you guys are doing a lot of fundraising this year for Paws and Feet.
Oh, we're going for first prize. I've been saving in my guinea piggy bank all year.
Yeah, it's been great raising money to help our friends, dogs, cats, rabbits, and other guinea pigs. Even our human friends can use the help AWA gives them.
If you want to join our team and win the top prize, follow me on TikTok at Guinea the Pooh for life. And check out my awesome dance moves.
I'll definitely do that, thanks. So I'm here with Malachi, and I heard that last year he had a great time at Paws and Feet. So Malachi, what was your favorite memory of last year?
Yo, bro, my buddy Rover and I hung out at the Bartini bar all day. We had some drinks, some snacks, sniffed some butts. You know the drill.
Totally. Same, bro.
By the time we knew it, we woke up passed out in a kiddie pool. It was epic, brah.
Sounds great. Well, there you have it. As you can see, we are all very excited here at AWA for this year's Paws and Feet 5K and Doggy Fun Day, which is going to be our best ever. We're going to have shopping, food trucks, fun and games for the whole family, including your pups. So get registered today and get started fundraising. We have some great prizes this year. Mark those calendars. We'll see you Saturday, May 6th at the Voorhees Town Center.